Hello everyone. Today is going to be a different show. It's going to be a little different because if you guys don't know, I will be gone Thursday, Friday for Model UN, and of course Saturday, but Saturday is not a school day, so it doesn't matter. I will not be doing my show next Tuesday. Because somebody else, the station manager, wanted to do their rhythm ratings. They wanted to do where they rate, like, I don't know the specifics, but they rate music, and it's like K-pop kind of stuff. That's all I really know about it. So I decided to make this one just a little bit more special. I added, I can't do a lot of editing, so I figured I'd address you guys. Because I don't have a lot of time. I'm running for class president, which is why I'm in this suit. Also, another thing, in the video, I wear the same exact shirt that I wore the week before that. And, actually, that was yesterday. Sorry. I'm so used to, I'm so used to the videos being, a week behind. I forgot that the video I'm currently editing is only yesterday. So, but yeah, yesterday, I wore the same shirt I wore last week. So, and I didn't realize it. So I guarantee, I promise you I changed shirts, okay? I promise you. But another thing that I wanted to say that I didn't say because we were having some issues with the chat and everything else. Happy birthday on Christina. I know I'm a little late. I'm 24 hours late. Well, it depends on when this video gets uploaded, actually. But happy belated. But yeah, that's about all I wanted to say. I also wanted to say that I'm probably not going to spend as much time editing this because I was already... Listen, guys, look. I'll just show you. Hold on. All right. I mean, I got the editing. I tried to figure out the microphone that I'm using right now, this microphone right here. That's why I have ChatGPT up, which turned out to be useless. But, we're working through it. Here's the video I'm editing. I'm using Shotcut, by the way. Let me just minimize all this stuff. So look, that's what, you guys can't really see it. I'm terrible at aiming things. Let me see if I can no, I can't really switch camera view, but there you go, guys. But yeah, I think I might have accidentally paused myself, but we're not going to do another take of this. We're just going to, in case you guys didn't see it, that's where I'm editing. It's a pretty neat office. I figured I'd give you guys a little tour before the actual show starts. But listen, I'll have a timestamp if you guys don't want to see any of this, and it's very boring to you. But I thought I'd do a little something because also yesterday's show ran a little short because we were late setting everything up because there was somebody else before us, and normally we set up, pretty much me, normally I set up way before 3 for, I don't even know what comes on at 3, honestly. It's either Valentunes or it's Hello Kitty and Friends. Those are the only two that I really know of. And it's the same girl. It's is girl still appropriate? I'm in college now. Is that still appropriate? Can I say girl? Whatever. Anyway. Yeah. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoy the show, and I'll probably release it around the same time that my show is normally, so you guys can actually listen to it instead of going to the radio. But that's it. Yeah. Hello, everyone. You're listening to WPCX in Clinton, South Carolina, on the campus of Presbyterian College. We're on 97.1 FM, but also you can listen to us if you download the WPCX app on iOS and Android. Welcome to Current Climate. I'm your host, Brendan Carroll. I'm joined again today by McHenry. And he's
I'm
on time again. He's
on
on time
time
again. He's building a streak up.
It's all about elevating week by week.
Elevating
exactly. Week by week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also, let's say the date too. It's November 18th. Just so there's no confusion when I upload the recording of this, because that's something I kind of forgot to mention in the last two archives, I guess. We're on BlueTube, so if you guys missed the last show, it should be up 6 p.m. tonight, where you can kind of catch up with us. We already have our first video archive. That was 2 weeks ago that you can listen to on BlueTube PC. That's the full YouTube channel. But, all right, we have... Things have happened, okay? Uh-oh. Hold on, I'm getting the bad text. No, we're good. Never mind. We're good.
You're off air, bro. You're off air.
We don't want dead air.
Nah.
But we have some interesting topics, as you guys probably heard. It's been on the news. The Epstein files. They got called into vote. In the House, anyway. It was almost unanimous. There was only one guy that voted nay on releasing the Epstein files. One guy. Clay Higgins of Louisiana.
Okay.
Remember that name, guys. But anyway, before we get into it, here's our disclaimer. This program is produced by students at Presbyterian College in Clinton, South Carolina. Views and opinions expressed on this station are those of student producers and do not necessarily reflect official views of the college. Thank you for listening. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about the Epstein files. But first, let's kind of get, like, I wouldn't say the full context, because that would take a while. But I'll sort of give, like, the context dating back to like February or so, just to make things a little easier on us. So, or maybe before February, the 2024 campaign specifically, right? So Trump ran on the premise that he was going to release the files. That was like a very, very big deal, as you may or may not remember.
I do remember that was part of his, or he at least said something about wanting transparency or something about it.
Yeah, for sure. And so, I mean, that was a big, that's what, it was sort of like correlating with like Doge and stuff too. That was part of it, like transparency in government procedure, as well as the files. We're going to release the JFK files and the MLK Jr. files and the Epstein files. Right?
Yeah, and honestly, but at the time, I was like, okay, well, how much is really in these files? I mean, what really is it? I was like, I feel like there's going to be so much hype around these files, and then they're going to come out, and people are going to be scratching their heads like, so there's not anything crazy revealing like I thought there would be. Like, that's kind of what I thought the expectation was going to be from the beginning.
Oh no! Well, with the JFK files, there was actually some very interesting stuff. Where that would be a time for that would be an interesting story for another show, another time.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people were getting amped up, and so in February, actually, Trump gets these big. He gets these binders, right? I can't remember what he put the cover on them. I think it was like classified or Epstein files or something like that. Had a photo op with these social media influencers that he gave these binders to, right? Mm. And he's like, "Oh, Trump did it. He released the Epstein files, right?"
Right.
And so all these social media influencers got it, and then everybody was like, "No. Don't just give it to the influencers. Like, just give it to the public. It would be like way easier that way, instead of handling like, you know, influencers, because they, you know, who knows." You know, if it's in the public, there's not a lot you can do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can assassinate like 8 people, which is like the binders that's how many binders I think he gave away. It was like 8 or something, like a very small number. It's like you can do away with like 8 people very quickly. That just seems very insecure.
Wait, so sorry, what is 8 again?
8. Yeah, he gave it to like 8 people, I think, like this binder. Of
Trump
these
did?
alleged these alleged Epstein files.
Okay.
And then basically February comes, and then eventually they receive enough pushback. They're like, no, release it publicly. Give everybody these files. As it turns out, the files that he released, I'm using air quotes for all of you who can't see me, the files that he released were just files that were already publicly available. And so there was a bit of outrage, understandably. And then with this outrage, right? With this outrage, I mean, Trump had to do something. And so what he ended up doing was a lot of delays and a lot of miscommunication. So Kash Patel was like, well, we would release the files, but Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, is not letting us release the files. And then Pam Bondi was blaming Kash Patel and the FBI. It was a very just confusing.
A lot of finger pointing.
Yes, exactly. And until July 7th of 2025, okay, they have this statement out that says, basically, the DOJ puts out a statement. Let me be specific. So the DOJ puts out a statement and says that the Epstein files don't exist. They don't say there's no people of interest or anything else.
What is DOJ?
Department of Justice. So that would be like
Department of Justice. Oh, wow, guys! I promise I'm not uneducated. I just I had a brain fart there. I didn't know what that abbreviation was.
So yeah. so the Department of the Department of Justice puts out a statement on July 7th, okay, and says that the Epstein files don't exist at all. That they straight up do not exist. They don't say that they're not worth anybody's time or anything like that. They're not like, oh, these are inconsequential, or this doesn't really give us anything that we can work with. This isn't enough to build a case. They literally just say that they do not exist at all.
They don't exist.
Yes, but before that, in May, okay, in May, Trump was asking the FBI to scan through the files to see if his name was on them. His name... Is that proper grammar? It doesn't matter. To see if his name would show up.
That was what time? In May?
In May, yes. And they actually did find his name in the files. And so many argue that the DOJ, well, many argued at the time. Now it's indisputed because they're voting to release the files. So of course everyone knows they exist. But back then, people were arguing that, you know, the only reason the DOJ said that they don't exist is because Trump found out that his name was on them. Okay. So, you know, then some time passes after the DOJ says that they don't exist, and after a lot of pushback from some Republicans and independents and a lot of Democrats, a lot of pushback. Speaker Mike Johnson ends up calling recess, which basically means that all of the representatives go home and there's no voting or anything else. That's pretty much what that means for an extended period of time, right? And so after the recess, the government shutdown happens. After the recess is completed, and then they're going back to work, presumably. And Thomas Massie at this point, representative, by the way, Representative Thomas Massie, he was trying to get a petition to vote on the Epstein file issue, because Speaker Mike Johnson, the role of the Speaker of the House is that they get to set the agenda, which means he gets to decide what people vote on. And so he was putting off the Epstein file thing because, you know, who knows why, but he was putting it off. And what Thomas Massie's petition would have done is it would have forced Speaker Mike Johnson to have a vote on it. And so a little bit afterward, and this is sort of suspicious, right? Because after their recess, and not that long when they start getting back to work, right? Mm-hmm. Government shutdown just happens, right? Because now all of a sudden there's this major disagreement between the big beautiful bill and, you know, now there's just now we need these provisions extended from the Affordable Care Act. We need these provisions that took place during COVID, or that were enacted during COVID. We need them back, and we need them extended, right? That was the big argument, and that's what ended up getting the government shut down, presumably. Now, what I found interesting about that was, well, what happens when the government shut down? People aren't really working. Representatives aren't voting on things. Representatives aren't being appointed.
So are you thinking, like, what are you hinting at?
I'm hinting that
What's that?
that there seems to have been a bipartisan effort in blocking the Epstein file issue.
Bubba.
No. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about Bubba. We don't talk about the emails.
Okay, so you're hinting that there is a in the House and the Senate, there seems to be a universal consensus to
Somewhat, yes.
to just kind of.
And I think one can come to that conclusion when you're thinking about, like, why were they fighting during the government shutdown? And they were fighting for over a month, right?
Yeah.
Why were they fighting so long if these people were just going to give in? If they didn't care that much, right? Then they would have given in within that week of the government shutdown, probably.
Yeah.
So why would they wait so long to give in? And I think you can make the case that it's to protect from the Epstein files being voted on, because there was a lot of support for it.
So, why would they want to protect him from?
Well, I don't even need. You don't even need speculation for that one. There's definitely politicians on that list.
So, do we know of? Okay, so, I guess yesterday or a day or two ago, were the files released yet or no?
No. They have to go to the Senate.
Okay, so they still have another layer of.
Yeah, another layer of things to go through.
Okay, and so were they supposed to be released last time in July or no?
Yeah, because that was Trump's campaign promise. He said he was going to release the files. He was supposed to do it really in February, but he kind of. But he didn't release new files. He only re-released the files that were already publicly available in February. It was expected to be released on February, though.
Well, I mean.
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. I gotta check the chat. Make sure. Here we go. Okay. No, you can still talk.
Oh no, you're good. The question really is like, the only thing that it would accomplish is just exposing wrongdoers that went to Jeffrey Epstein's island and partaked. Is that basically right?
Yes.
That's the only thing that is the best case scenario of whatever this thing could accomplish is basically right.
Yeah.
Okay.
What you got to realize is that's a lot of people, and that's very prominent people.
Is there any names like that have officially been exposed? Has anybody officially gotten in trouble for it?
Well, yeah. Prince Andrew actually is getting stripped of his title because he was alleged to be. What's the best way to put this? He was in it. I'll just put it. Yeah, he was in it. He was involved.
Who's that?
Prince Andrew. He's in the UK. An actual prince.
Okay. Oh, so a prince. Okay.
Yeah, actual prince.
So he was in the files.
Not
even in the files.
Yeah,
he was just
someone who was involved with, not involved, but was a victim to I don't know what I'm allowed to say on air, was a victim to the things that happened on the island.
Okay.
She wrote a book and she implicated Prince Andrew, and she wasn't very specific, but she said a former prime minister. Now, what we can infer from former prime minister is
not the U.S., because the U.S. is not a prime minister.
Now,
could be Canada, could be a handful of European countries.
Yes, but there's another thing. The Oversight Committee released around 20,000 emails, and before that, some emails were leaked, and it shows that Jeffrey Epstein was actually talking to the former Israeli prime minister before Netanyahu.
President who?
Epstein was talking to former prime minister of Israel, and so we can infer that it was.
I actually don't know this. What, like, aside from his, sex trafficking network, like, what did Jeffrey Epstein do for a living? Like,
nobody really knows.
Like, how did he get all that money? Like, so I don't know. Do you know? I'm sure he did something. Like, what is? Where does his money come from? Why are you laughing, bro?
That's in and of itself. You could probably cover that for like an hour, because the truth is nobody really knows. It's purposefully what's the right word? It's just purposefully vague. Nobody really knows.
So he wasn't like, a stockbroker or a Wall Street bro or
he was just
hotel business. He wasn't in anything like that.
He wasn't in a real estate or anything. He just kind of
he's just
amassed wealth.
He's just sus, bro.
He was very heavy into the into data and into security and into specifically information. This is where you get the whole blackmail ring sort of thing going on. He was actually talking to Peter Thiel. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's the founder of Palantir.
Yes, you've talked about him. Yep, that's the guy. I was going to say, is it the Palantir?
Yes, the Palantir guy. He was talking to Peter Thiel because Palantir and Israel, they do a lot of business together. In fact, Peter Thiel could be quoted saying, "I defer to Israel on matters of security and things like that." So they have a very tight relationship, and so that's why Epstein was talking to the former prime minister and also Peter Thiel. I just found that interesting, but yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, so correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah,
Jeffrey Epstein was arrested years ago, and then he died in prison. But and it's on paper, it's written that he killed himself, right?
On paper, yes.
Is that what it says on paper?
That is exactly what it says.
But there is suspicion that he may have been murdered for the purpose of fear of revealing of information. Yes. So that is. Did I get that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is true. That he did die in prison.
Yes, he did die in prison.
On paper, it says he killed himself. A lot of suspicions about that. A lot of people think he was killed. He had a lot of vulnerable information that might let him walk free.
Yes.
And, also correct me if I'm wrong, but that is sort of how the legal system has tended to operate. You give me something I can work with, you get this in return, and this doesn't happen to you. That kind of is sometimes how it
plea
goes.
Deals, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, it happens. That does happen a lot. But, I mean, you have to realize, like, these are we're talking about world leaders, like several world leaders, multiple world leaders. So it's very, like...
Has any, other than that prince you said...
Yeah.
Is there anyone else that has been like actually not just like, oh, Epstein was friends with this guy, or oh, Epstein took a picture with this guy, like someone that has actually been like gotten in trouble for being accused of like committing crimes on his island?
It's tricky. Nobody really gets in trouble when it comes to that because they haven't, technically, there's not a lot. There's not a lot to go off of in terms of proof.
There's just not a lot of
because the files won't get released. Well, they might get released, but they haven't been released.
The proof, if there is any kind of proof, it would be in the files?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
There's some in the emails, but
I mean,
it's very difficult because you have to separate like these like personal emails that Epstein sent to his brother that were more jokey, so you can't really tell who was actually involved, and then there were more serious business related emails, so you can't even really go off of the emails 100% of the time.
Okay. Well, I mean, other than the purpose of obviously, bringing justice to people that have done wrong and been involved in committing crimes on his island, the purpose of those files that's basically the main purpose. There's not really another reason that could it expose potentially could have Jeffrey Epstein's business, his sex trafficking business, had an implication on our foreign relations, could have gotten that sticky with government
probably
because that's when it would just do more than bringing justice. That's when it would do more. If there was any of that kind of stuff in there, that's when it would do. That's when more people would that's when it would be more than just bringing justice to people that did wrong. It would be more like, oh, the United States and this country did so and so deal at Epstein's, then it could be a little.
Oh yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Nah, I don't think any of that's going on. But if
it had something to do with the Israeli Mossad or I don't know. I don't know. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying I'm wondering because there's been a lot of demand for these files to be released, and so I'm wondering why do people care about this so much? This happened a long time ago. And I'm thinking, I guess they just want to see, I guess they just want to bring justice to people. Fair enough. It's a horrible thing. But, also, it's is there another thing is there something else that people are hoping is revealed by the files coming out? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think, part of it, I feel it's just a monster of Trump's own creation, really. Because Trump was really hyping up the Epstein files.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And so I think he really got people to care.
Nobody was thinking about it really much.
Yeah,
at least not in any.
But at this point, you can't. You have to think about it because why would he? Many people were thinking why would he go back on that?
Yeah.
Why would he go back? That's kind of suspicious,
Yeah.
And you also have to think that in politics, maybe it was, 10, 20, 30 years ago, but you have to think that these politicians are probably still in office, and they probably still have a seat of power, and, people need to be, taken out of the government if they're complicit in that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, I think it's just a plethora of things. And then, of course, there's questions because Ghislaine Maxwell, her father was actually in Mossad. I don't know if you knew that. So there are some questions where it's oh, is he Mossad? I'm not gonna listen. If someone gives me proof, sure, but as it stands right now, I'm not gonna preach to you that he's a foreign agent or something.
Yeah.
But
who would that be again?
I'm sorry. So Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was a Mossad, and then
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know. Well, you know, there's no way to know yet, and I guess that's what people are saying too. Maybe, you know, they're like, we want to know everything, you know, no matter what, pretty much. Like, we want to know if there's even a hint that it could have been, that Epstein could have been used for, like, I don't know, for blackmail in terms of, like, Mossad or whatever else. Which, like, once you step in, once you get your
once you go down the rabbit hole.
Once you go down that way, it's, like, very hard to, you know. So I'm just gonna, like, me personally, I just want people to be brought to justice, you know.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, that's the most
you know,
important part of it, really.
And then whatever comes out, you know. I'm not like I'm not gonna, like, deny it if it comes out and it turns out to be true, but I'm not really gonna push it in that direction if there's not enough evidence to support it. So, but yeah. Okay. Station ID time, guys. Just a reminder, you're listening to 97.1 FM on, well, this is WPCX, that's the radio station, in Clinton, South Carolina, on the campus of Presbyterian College. Or you can listen to us on the WPCX app on iOS and Android. All right.
Smooth.
Appreciate it.
So, I mean, unless you have something else, I was going to say one more thing about it. But
Yeah, no, go ahead.
like, it seems, just from things that I've heard and things I've seen, seems a lot of people on the left are thinking, oh, you know, like, the left and the right have their own reaction to the Epstein. Like, a lot of people on the left are saying, well, you know, Trump doesn't want to release it because he's in it and he went to the island, whatever. That seems to be like a common thing that people say on the left. And then on the right, a lot of people say, well, you know, all of these Democrats were involved in it, and Israel's involved in it. You know, like, I feel like everyone has their own take on it, but there is sort of it does feel like there's a unanimous, like, everybody wants to release them. Everybody wants to see it.
Yeah.
No matter who you are, no matter what side you're on, almost everybody wants to release it, unless you're the Louisiana.
Unless you're. What's his name again? Clay Higgins. Clay
Higgins, bro.
Yeah, everybody, listen. Remember the name Clay Higgins. He's the only representative that voted nay on releasing the Epstein files. Remember that name. Do not let him win office again. Okay, but okay. Hold on. I got a text from my dad. I forgot about YouTube terms of service. We can't say the K word.
What's the K word?
Can't say it. We have to say unalived.
On what?
Unalived.
Unalived?
Yeah, we gotta say unalive. I forgot about that.
Wait, can you type the K word so I know not to say it?
Yeah, we can't say, apparently we can't say that. We gotta say unalive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot about YouTube.
I was like, what are you talking about, bro? What is the K word?
No. It's not like we're planning on saying any other K words, so. But, yeah. YouTube terms of service is, like, crazy, dude. Like, they didn't used to be this way. But anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sidetracked.
No, we're good. But yeah, like, some people on the right think that, some people, like Elon Musk. Elon. It is Elon.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. You know, are obviously, like, really, really invested in this whole thing and, like, really pushing for him to be released and blaming Trump and everything.
Yeah.
And then some other people on the right are saying, well, you know, Trump went back on it because someone threatened him. The Israeli government's involved. Some people are taking that approach, and then a lot of people on the left are basically just they're basically just saying that Trump doesn't really want to release it because he's one of the ones that committed the crime. I personally don't think that happened, but really, no one really knows. I mean, no one really knows. There's obviously whatever information's out there. is available, but no one really knows what happened, right?
Yeah.
No one really knows. And Jeffrey Epstein is dead.
Yes.
So that makes it even harder to.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that this issue has sort of popped back up. In the last 6-7 months, or really over the last year.
Sorry, I was just imagining Alana reacting to you saying the magic words.
Oh, the what magic words?
Yeah, the 6 or 7 months, bro.
Oh, yeah, 6, 7, bro. 6, 7.
Yeah, that's... Dude, yeah. I don't get it, man.
6,
but
7.
anyway.
I'm... yeah, I don't get it either. But it has sort of resurfaced in the last year, I guess mainly due to, like you said, like Trump kind of... He campaigned it, and now it's in the news and whatever. I will say this though, if you things like that, like Epstein or JFK or any kind of notable historical event that might have files that are kept and hidden, it's always, no matter what it is, it feels like it's going to be kind of a slippery slope when it comes to like actually getting rid of it. You may have someone being like, don't release it or else this happens.
Yeah.
Or whatever. So, anyway.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. I don't know if I covered that part of with the emails and stuff. We talked a little bit about the emails, but
well,
you
didn't. Yeah, I think I might have cut you off talking about it.
Oh, no, you're good. So the Oversight Committee released 20,000 of Epstein's emails. Jeez, I don't know what's going on with me today. But they released 20,000 Epstein emails, and a lot of people, because again, like you were saying, a lot of the criticism from the left side of things, it was just like Trump's in them. And although that's like probably true in some sense, okay, you guys got to let me finish. I don't, there doesn't seem to be a lot of evidence to suggest that he was active. He took an active role in that sort of exploitation. Yeah,
everybody look. The only proof is that they were at least acquainted. Like they at least knew who each other were. Were they friends? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, well, they were friends. Speaker Mike Johnson actually confirmed this when he was being questioned on the Epstein files. Speaker Johnson said that Trump was forced to be his friend because he was a federal informant. That was the rationale behind how close they were. So it is true that Trump and Epstein were close, and so, but in all 20,000 of those emails, it doesn't say that Trump was active in the illegal activities that took place in the island.
Yeah.
But it does suggest that he probably knew about them. Well, he definitely knew about them because, as Speaker Mike Johnson said, that he said that Trump was a federal informant. We don't know that for sure, but I'm sorry, I'm checking my phone like a psychopath.
But just to assume that Donald Trump was just for somebody to just assume that he was involved in and partaking on the unspeakable things that happened on the island is just sort of ignorant, because you can't just immediately assume, oh, he doesn't want to release him, he's in it. That's like a little bit,
No, I mean, I think it's okay to be skeptical in that sense because, what's the rationale? Like, okay, someone's hesitant on releasing that, and you brought up a good point earlier about like being threatened and stuff, and that could be true too. And I guess maybe people could give clemency to that because there was an assassination. There were 2 assassination attempts actually. So that's probably plausible. I'm not gonna deny that, but
the guy did almost get his whole head shot off.
But but I will say that it is suspicious because he did also ask like if his name showed up and stuff, which like made it sus. Like if he didn't do that, I think a lot of people actually would be a lot more ready to defend it. Mm-hmm. He acted sort of suspicious, and a lot of arguments that I get. Well, what's interesting is that, like, from the left side of things, and it's just like, when Biden was in office,
yeah,
and he controlled the House and the Senate.
Mm-hmm. Not a word.
And so, it's not really about left versus right, but I think there ought to be some, like, people do have to, at the very least, and if it's all good faith, right? If really they just weren't really thinking about it until Trump started talking about it, if it's all in good faith, then I think people should acknowledge that, like, hey, there wasn't a lot of noise for this during those years, right? Mm-hmm. At the very least,
at least
give a little clemency. Like, I'm not like, again, being a Democrat doesn't bar you from caring about the Epstein files. That's not really what it's about. It's just
it's just like you can't make it all about Trump when just before the presidency there was a Democratic president that had zero efforts to do anything about it.
I think,
about releasing the information anyway. So.
And I have some hope. I'm not gonna lie. I was feeling a little down when Trump first said that, or when the DOJ first said that the Epstein files don't exist, and Donald Trump was calling it a Democrat hoax. Mm-hmm. And all that other stuff.
The hoax, bro.
Yeah, he was calling it a Democrat hoax.
It's a hoax, bro.
And he was like, "You were never MAGA if you believed this." And that had me down for a little bit because I saw a lot of prominent people on talk shows and things like that. They did a complete 180. Before during the campaign, it was like, we got to release the files.
Right.
And then Trump says that, and all of a sudden, all of these. I hate to say it. Well, I don't know if I'd hate to say it. I don't really have allegiance to anybody, but what I will say is that in 98.9, the voice of the Carolinas, all of them.
That's us, bro. No, but
at night, all of them over there at 98.9. They switched their rhetoric from, hey, we got to release these files, to like, why are you worried about are you a Democrat or something? Why are you worried about the files? And like, oh, are you counter signaling Trump? What's wrong with you? And it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It is insane. The complete 180. And it's events like this that I am grateful for, because it helps you, like, I guess, remember that not everyone is as independent as they'd like to sell themselves as. Mm-hmm. Which is a positive that I think came from this whole situation. Like, a lot of people were just like, they completely switched viewpoints as soon as that announcement came, and it was just crazy. Like, you saw people turning on each other, and all of a sudden, this became a Democrat. It shouldn't have been a Democrat position. It shouldn't have been a Republican position.
Yeah.
It should have just been it should have been everybody's position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody should want these released, and so I'm happy about the House result. Well, I'm very happy, despite the fact that Clay Higgins voted nay on the vote to release the Epstein files.
Senator, representative from Louisiana?
Louisiana.
Okay.
Clay Higgins of Louisiana. But besides that, I'm pretty happy with the result. Let's just hope it passes through the Senate, because that's going to be trickier. There's in some ways it's trickier, in some ways it's not as tricky.
Someone was shaking. No,
No, but like, but you know, the Senate, it's much smaller, right? Which could be good that it's smaller, but at the same time, there's probably not going to be a lot of debate. But I'm kind of thinking at this point. I'm just thinking out loud. I'm like arguing with myself at this point. But now that I think about it, Trump did change his position, and he did say, "Let's vote to release it because to prove it's a distraction."
Yeah,
right?
He said, "I have nothing to hide."
Yeah. So, and I'm really happy. Did I even say that in the beginning of the show? I feel kind of bad. I probably should have said that when I was going over the timeline. But yeah, I'm in case I didn't say that. Yes, Trump did change his position, and he told everybody to vote in favor of releasing the Epstein files, in case I didn't say that before. But hopefully that carries on to the Senate. I'm hoping that does, because we do have a Republican majority in the Senate, and we're just going to assume that the Republican senators are going to back Trump on this, and then the Epstein files will hopefully be released. We'll see, and we'll see what comes of it. This is a more unique show. We're only talking about really one topic. So compared to the last 5 shows.
Yeah.
Last 5 shows we had like 3 topics. But we'll see. We'll switch it up. Well, I kind of like switching it up because talking about one topic, it kind of stays focused, and I feel like I can go more in depth with it.
Yeah.
As opposed to like we're gonna talk about SNAP benefits. Also, ceasefire broke, and it's like it just feels more scattered. I kind of like these kind of conversations. But guys in the chat, let me know. Oh, money management. Yeah, it's my mom in the chat. She put that was Jeffrey Epstein's employment. That was his role. That was his
money management
job description. Yeah,
so like
money management.
Finance or
money management. That's how vague it is. Money management. So yeah.
Oh yeah, like managing the money of the sex trafficking.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah. Well, let me know if you guys like the format. It's just slightly different. It's not too much of a deviation, but let me know if you guys like it in the chat. If you're not, or in the comment section down below, if you're watching an archive. If you guys have the WPCX app, please press the go button on the bottom middle, okay? And then once you hit it, there'll be like this, like, it sort of looks like a rotary phone. That's sort of what the menu's like. But it'll be the first option, so a little speech bubble, and then you can open up the chat, and then, tell me what you think about the format or about the show. If you disagree with us or agree with us, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Money management, that's crazy. But anyway.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, if you're at the very end, if you just tuned in, don't worry, you can watch our VOD. Is that what you call it? You can watch this show on video at BlueTube PC on YouTube, okay? So yeah, be sure to check it out if you missed any part of this show. Also, I will not be live next Tuesday because of Thanksgiving break, and because someone wanted to do rhythm ratings at the same time as my show.
I actually won't. I'll be on the plane during that time anyway.
Yeah. So yeah, if you get confused, if you start hearing like K-pop or something during my regular hours, I'm not there. Okay. So we will be back on December 2nd though. So mark your calendars. We should be having guests, like more guests on the show before exams start. But I'll let you guys know more about it on December 2nd. That's pretty much all I had. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was just saying, if we do want to bring in another topic real quick, I have not heard maybe I just haven't been paying attention, but I have not heard an update in a hot minute about the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Yeah, it's.
But are we still giving money to Ukraine? Like, what's the current situation? Are we still giving them money?
I have no idea what the current situation is.
Because that is something that's arguably a very important, the most important thing happening right now, probably. And it doesn't get enough attention, in my opinion.
It doesn't really get any attention. That's crazy. Yeah,
I mean, there are people dying over there, like in Russia and Ukraine. There are people dying. I believe we're still giving money to them. I haven't checked. It is like, I know that over the summer there was a lot of negotiations with Putin and Zelensky. I don't know, like, what. It really feels like Trump is sort of the middleman. It really feels like the U.S. is just sort of facilitating a conflict between two countries, and Trump is just the couples therapist for Russia and Ukraine.
Looking at it from the outside, like in, it really does. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. 2025 is crazy. Yeah. 2026, when the midterms hit, is going to be even crazier.
Let me actually do a quick Google Gemini.
Google Gemini.
Google Gemini.
Google Gemini. All right, you got 8 minutes.
All right, I'll work quick. Let's
speed run.
Hey Google, what is the? Oh, I got no internet connection down here. Let me turn on my Wi-Fi.
You still got 8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay. Yeah. I'll move quick.
Speed run.
I'll speed run. Let me see here.
People have been messing.
What is the current situation with the Russia-Ukraine war, and is the United States still giving money to Ukraine?
Because I know
the Russia-Ukraine war continues, with Russia occupying about 20% of Ukraine and both sides launching attacks, with Russian forces recently making gains in the south and expanding attacks on critical infrastructure. Yes, the United States is still giving aid to Ukraine, including military and financial support, although the specific flow of funds and equipment can change based on ongoing political decisions and available authority.
See, I think this whole thing is a mistake because Russia has so many atomic and nuclear weapons they could destroy the whole world in a minute, 30 seconds if they wanted to. So we're making enemies with a country that can destroy us and anyone they want if they choose. So I think it's a big mistake. The Soviet Union fell in 1991, 2, 3, early 1990s.
I think it's 292.
Basically, the Soviet Union fell over 30 years ago, but for some reason, since then, even after the Soviet Union fell and there was no more Communist Party in Russia, we have still for some reason insisted on Russia being our enemy, and not letting them just operate as a normal European country. Anyway, it's a big thing going on. There's a lot of people dying over there. It's bad. This has been going on for a long time too. 3 years now, I think. A lot of people dying over there. There's so many people dying over there, and we're literally funding that war. But we're talking about Epstein, so it's just, not that doesn't matter. That's not what I'm saying. It's just like it is kind of a distraction in a way, like and arguably yes. I think everybody should have the right to know what happened with Jeffrey Epstein and the files. I think everybody that was involved on his island should be prosecuted to the highest degree of the law, and justice should be brought to him. But that being said, you know, nuclear war, a potential possibility of nuclear war, and provoking a country like Russia, that is arguably a little bit more important, a way more important, in my humble opinion.
But okay, 4:55. It's time for the disclaimer again, guys. But first, remember you're listening to 97.1 FM WPCX in Clinton, South Carolina, in the campus of Presbyterian College, or you can download the WPCX app on iOS or Android. Please download the app though, because I really want you guys to be active in the chat. It's looking sad in there. Okay.
All we got was money management today.
Yeah,
that's all we got.
Money management. And listen. I got news from the advisor of WPCX, and he said that we are the highest rated radio show right now. Okay, we're beating out PC Politics, we're beating out Valentunes, we're beating out Hello Kitty and Friends. Okay, so keep up the good work, guys. Okay, we appreciate you listening.
Keep listening.
Just be active in the chat. Okay,
climate something.
Current climate. You're listening to Current Climate. And our final disclaimer, okay? This program is produced by students at Presbyterian College in Clinton, South Carolina. Views and opinions expressed on this station are those of student producers and do not necessarily reflect official views of the college. Thank you for listening. You can go ahead and say your goodbyes.
Bye, y'all. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Thanks for being here. I will see you all on December 2nd. There we go. Ridiculously loud still.
Yeah, it is loud.
Ugh.
How do you think it went today?
Went good, man.